few months ago at the beginning of fall when the holidays were just starting to kick off, I went to Michael's with my girlfriend and a friend of hers. They were doing some like holiday decorating shopping for their house or what have you. And in that store, I saw a man. I saw a man much like myself. He too was with his girlfriend. She too was shopping for decorations and, you know, holiday type stuff. But there was a difference between me and this man. He clearly did not want to be there. This girl is trying her hardest to get him to engage. She's like, hey, what do you like about this? Do you like this thing? What if I get this? What do you think about this? And at every point, every turn, he's like either like giving hardly any response, or he's like, oh, I don't really care, you know, or whatever. And at some point, after like basically like begging him to just have some sort of input, she goes, hey, I'm only asking you because I'm going to decorate the apartment anyway. It's best that I decorate it with things that you want to see because you're going to be seeing them for a long time. And that got me to thinking how often guys take this easy opportunity for a layup in their relationships and just completely fucking fumble it. Like going shopping with your lady or whatever, or your significant other, even if you're not the person that likes decorating a lot, one, you got to recognize it means a lot to them, but more importantly, it's such an easy way to score some easy points of relationship. Not saying that this is gonna like undo any massive fuck up or whatever, but I think it could buy you a lot of good charity. And I think as a guy, you have to be able to realize that. You have to realize those easy opportunities where you can buy yourself a little bit of good charity. So like, you know, when you inevitably forget to do some shit or whatever, at least she'll be thinking, well, like, he does go shopping with me sometimes. Sometimes someone's gonna talk shit on you. You're not gonna be there to defend yourself. At least he goes shopping with me sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm getting at? And it's just so wild to me that like at no point did he even think that like before she said it, I'm going to have to see this stuff anyway. You know, if they're living together, I'm gonna have to see this every day when I come home, or what have you. This stuff is gonna be hung up all over the apartment. So I should pick a few things so at least I could be like, I like that cool skull over there, since it was about Halloween time, or what have you. And then like that, watching that happen changed my entire perspective on it. I'm not too different from that guy, right? I've never been a big decorator kind of guy. I just kind of started like decorating my space with more than just like the color black and like wood accents kind of thing, right? And that's part of the reason I was there. I was trying to like branch out of myself and like, you know, explore this new thing, right? Because like houses should not be boring. Your spaces should not be boring. But like I was there and I'm trying to pick out some stuff or what have you, and I'm trying to like find things that I like. Now a lot of this stuff I'm just not interested in. I don't really like getting into like the whole crazy holiday decorating thing or what have you. But when asked, I gave input. I found things for myself even to put around my home. It wasn't anything crazy. It was something that I thought was an ashtray, but apparently is a little like a ring holder. It's like a jewelry holder. It looks like the thing that I have looks like a half moon. It's gold, it's black, there's stars on the bottom of it. It looks cool. I keep all my mystical objects there. It's great. I love it. Furthermore, like that got me to go out to a few more places with my girlfriend. We went to thrift stores. We did a lot of thrifting over the holiday season, you know, leading up to Christmas. It's some of the best place to find some very unique gifts or what have you, because Christmas should be about giving people gifts that they like or that you like for them kind of thing, and not about how much money you spend on it or what have you. I learned the true meaning of Christmas this past year, and I'm very grateful for that fact. But while thrifting or what have you, I started to find things that I kind of liked, you know, things that like were kind of unique. I've been trying to like redecorate my office to be kind of like more like mystical, like wizard vibe or whatever, you know, like very wizard tower or whatever. And my girlfriend loves this. She loves that I'm getting into decorating. Granted, it's not maybe an aesthetic that she particularly gels with, but since it's just going to be for my own, like, you know, like hobby space or whatever, she doesn't mind. She loves it. She loves seeing that sort of thing. And the thing about like doing these things with your girlfriend or significant other or what have you is that it's just about spending time. Like, think about like all the times that like she's gone with you to an anime convention or a football game, soccer, you know, whatever. Were they that interested in it? Who knows? Probably not. I would venture to say a lot of the time no. But while there, they probably didn't pout. put up an attitude about it and they try to genuinely enjoy themselves, or at least put themselves in your shoes and see what about this thing is enjoyable for me, or like what about this is exciting. Maybe I can ask questions, maybe I can learn about this hobby that he has or what have you. And I just think it's a shame that a lot of guys, especially guys that are dating, actively dating in relationships, don't take that kind of initiative to like think about how, like, why does she enjoy thrifting? Or why does she enjoy going to the arts and crafts store or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, is there something about this that I can enjoy? How does she see this? Maybe I can enjoy it from her perspective, or kind of understand what it is about this that's so special to her, or what have you. And in the midst of all that thrifting during the holiday season, I found a cookie jar. Now, I love cooking, and I love kind of old school stuff, a lot of like vintage stuff. They don't really make stuff anymore. I find a lot of like kitchen aesthetics or home aesthetics nowadays to be very beige lady coded. I'll put a picture of something so you know what I'm talking about, but like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you go into this home and it's eat, pray, love to hell. There's these little beechwood little signs everywhere, you know what I mean? Like, everything's in a glass jar with a little white and black label on it. There's no character to it. It's all beige, it's all white or gray, you know what I mean? Very safe, no character. But this cookie jar had character. It's very emblematic of like the kind of shit that I grew up with my grandparents and like things like that. It was something very much you would find in a grandmother's kitchen. It made me feel really good. And I did put cookies in it. It was great. And I started to think that like maybe decorating doesn't have to be expensive. And then two, maybe it's something that I can enjoy if I just find the right sort of aesthetic, or if I find the sort of things that I like. But that revolves going out, which has the added benefit of, you know, scoring some extra points with my girlfriend. You know what I mean? If I tell her, hey, I want to go, you know, look for some cookie jars or some shit, I want to go look for some vintage cookware or what have you, she'd be all for it. In fact, not only did I find that cookie jar, I found ramekins, like these brownware, like kind of ramekin things or whatever that you would like do like a French onion soup in, maybe a dip. I've used them for both. It was great. It's awesome. And I just wish more guys would kind of like take that initiative to like kind of think about like, why am I here? Instead of going like, why am I here? You know what I mean? Like, think about like, what about this is enjoyable? Why does she want me here? She wants to spend time with you, idiot. It's really easy to be a good boyfriend. You just take these little moments and you just invest in them. You give it your all. Put aside your shitty attitude. Sorry that we got ripped out of the house. We can't play Marvel Rivals or COD or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, that time is valuable, and all your time shouldn't just be spent holed up in your house or just doing things that you want to do, because your girlfriend is a person that has thoughts, dreams, hobbies, and aspirations, much like yourself. And these things are very easy layups, because if you think about it, every time that she's kind of done that same thing for you, in your mind, you've given those points easy. You're like, damn, babe really showed out for me today. She really watched this fucking anime with me. She really like came out to the football game or whatever, or she showed up to my like jiu-jitsu match or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Sometimes they don't care about any of those things at all. They love you. They love us. And it's important to recognize that. Now, this also ties back in because I was watching Atlanta again. I was rewatching Atlanta again. And in the episode 4 of season 2, when like Van and Ern, they go, you know, do that German thing. Ern has like a kind of like a shit attitude like the entire time. And you can kind of see it. Like, I think in the beginning, he's like, you know, someone's like, hey man, are you dressing up for the thing? And he's like, nah, it's not really my thing. And like, everyone's like, even Van's like, hey man, like, it'd be kind of cool if you dress up. Maybe you could like get into it more, right? It's not your thing, but maybe you could kind of get into the spirit more if you just dress up or wear this mask or whatever. And he's like kind of just outright refusing, you know what I mean? And then like when he does have the mask or whatever, he's like just barely into it or what have you. And that kind of like starts to, as you see over the course of the episode, because they end up breaking up in the end, more or less. Spoilers. They end up breaking up because like over the course, these little things, his like little acts of rebellion and non-participation starts to truly break down a relationship, and it makes Vanessa wonder, is this all worth it? Like, is Ern worth it, right? Like, do I want to be with him? Am I wasting my time? Because, you know what I mean? Like, I'm doing all this stuff with him. I'm trying to spend time with him. And I just want this one thing. And by the end of it, she's had it, you know? She's completely fed up. And fellas, I'll tell you this. You don't know when that fucking moment's gonna come. You don't know if it's gonna be the time that you go to Michael's and you're a little bitch the entire time about not wanting to pick out some fucking decorations. And the crazy part is, they don't even want you to pick out 20 of them. They want you to pick out fucking one. You can't pick out one decoration? Is your relationship not worth one decoration? It's super easy, man. It's super easy. You just pick one thing. And most of the time, they'll leave you the fuck alone after that. And you can go get on with your like badass attitude, keep texting on your phone, doing whatever the fuck, being aloof. It's really cool, right? To not care about anything. But like, it's so easy. It's so easy. During the course of the evening, Ern talks to another gentleman at the party, right? And Ern's asking him, he's like, man, like, what does she want from me? Or like, how am I supposed to know what I want or whatever? I don't understand. Like, does she want me to be some like German lederhose wearing like polka dancing motherfucker? And the guy's like, nah, man, she just wants to spend time with you. Like, that's just what girls do. Like, they just want to like, you know, like they want to like get into your hobbies. They want you to get into theirs. They just want to like, you know, wrap your lives up together or whatever. And Ern just like isn't getting it. And like in the show, Ern's shown to be a smart guy. So like a lot of you out there are like this guy where you're a smart guy and you know exactly what the fuck you need to do. You know the answer is just to go out there and dance. You know the answer is to just pick one decoration and you refuse. You absolutely refuse because she's put up with me being a little shit this entire time. What's one more day? But that's what I'm saying. You don't know when you don't have one more day until it's already over. And you're gonna wish that you had picked that damn decoration. And so it's really easy to be a good boyfriend. Shortly after that, Ern challenges Van to a ping pong match. And he's like, let's spend some time together because he took the wrong message from the advice he was just given. He was like, one-on-one time? Let's try to do it on my terms. Not realizing that like this lady, his girlfriend has asked him to come out to this like German holiday event thing, right? And what she wants to do is do that with him, not do some other shit while also being there, if that kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? Like she wants to dance, participate in the festivities. She doesn't want to like play ping pong off to the side because it's not what she came here to do. And so Ern challenges her to a ping pong match, and the rules are stated, you know, like, hey, if she wins, he needs to like nut up and just enjoy himself and try to have a good time. And if he wins, you know, well, that part's not even worth talking about because he like doesn't win, you know what I mean? And he wasn't going to win. And then after losing, he's all butthurt about it. And this is also a thing I see happen to guys like a lot or whatever. I fall into this trap myself, especially when I was younger, where like you set extra stipulations because you think you know how the outcome is going to work. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I'll tell her, yeah, I'll go to this thing as long as like this happens. And then when she does it, you're flabbergasted. You never thought that you could lose. You never thought that you'd have to enjoy yourself. And now you're more pissed off. And again, that's like, at that point you're doubling down, right? Like, and it's bad. It's so easy to be a good boyfriend where like, if you're ever in that situation, like I'm a guy, especially now, right? Like I don't like going out in public a lot. I don't like parties and shit or what have you, large gatherings, but I know the importance of being at those events and like how to move. So like if it ever comes to it, right, like my girlfriend like wants to go or what have you, like I go, like no questions asked, for the most part. Unless it's something that I just truly don't want to do, I'm like, nah, I'm good. But she understands that part, right? Like she's like, okay, you don't like these large events, but like that's okay because you went shopping with me here, we went to the thing here. And I'm not saying that relationships are just like some sort of like score sheet where you're just keeping tally marks so where you can like get out of shit, but I'm saying that's kind of how it works, you know what I mean? Like it's less of a problem if I don't want to go to a party or like some like event downtown if we're doing all these other small things together and spending time all the time. Because what happens is if you start denying all that stuff, right, like I don't want to do anything, I don't want to go here, there, you're not spending time with her the way she wants to spend time with you. And it's really easy to be a good boyfriend. Another thing that happens is after the match, they get into an argument, obviously, and Ern's expressing his displeasure. He's like, I don't like this. This is bullshit. Fuck this place. Like, I want to, not be here. And Van totally understands that. She's like, I get it, but like, you can't do this for me. And he just kind of doubles down. He's like, no, like, this is dumb. Like, I don't want to, and like, that's the part that you have to like stray away from. I know it's really easy as a guy to kind of dig your heels in because like, who's going to move you? You know what I mean? Like, she obviously can't make you do it like physically or anything like that, right? But like, the question for me to you and what you should ask yourself, something that I've asked myself, is like, should she have to? You know what I mean? Like, should that have to go down in that way? It doesn't have to. It could be really easy. You just pick one decoration. You do the dance or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's just really easy to be a good boyfriend. But even if you don't take all this advice, I can promise you one thing. A day will come when she's just sick of it. And she's like, I don't think this is worth it. I just want to spend time with this person. I can't spend time with this person in the ways that I care about. And maybe, maybe it's just best to move on, kind of thing. And you will actually be given the opportunity to fight for your relationship. It just won't become in the form that you think. It won't be some giant argument or whatever. It's probably going to be a simple request like, hey babe, do you want to go XYZ? And it'll totally fly over your head. And like, when you fuck up, because you will fuck it up, you won't realize it for months, maybe years. And you're like, oh fuck, that was a moment, or what have you. Instead of doing what you would normally do and saying no, say yes. Say yes often. Because I promise you, like, when you're given that opportunity and even if you do realize it, it's important to say yes. And it's important to fight or what have you. Some women will just ask you, some of them will maybe ask you straight up like, hey, like, what do you want out of all this? And like, it's really easy to be like, oh, I don't know, or what have you, or, and maybe that's true, but like, you have to have some sort of like design or vision on the future of your relationship if you intended it to be anything other than just like sleeping together or like hanging out every so often, right? Because like, what is that, especially in today's day and age? Relationships that you build and whatnot are super important. So Vanessa does give Ern a chance to fight for his relationship, and he fails miserably. The first, it was just very normal. She was like, what do you want out of this? His answer, not great. He's not sure. He's like, I just like what we have going on right now. After she's told him, I want more out of this. You know what I mean? And then they play ping pong for it. She's like, fine, if I win, you don't have to, like, fuck with me at all that much. You know what I mean? Just like, be there for your daughter and like, leave me the fuck alone. And ping pong, obviously not Ern's game, but like, he didn't really fight hard enough for it. And the crazy part is, even during the game and afterwards, you can tell he doesn't really realize what's happening. The gravity of like what's just happened to him hasn't sunk in yet. He's thinking, oh, she'll get over it like she always does, right? When I'm shitty or whatever, you think, like he thinks, like I thought at some point, she'll just get over it. It'll be fine. And then you find yourself on the other side of that door. So I guess what I'm saying is, it's really easy to be a good boyfriend, and you should definitely fucking try. Pick up the decoration, try to get into it, try to understand, from their point of view, the same way they do yours. And maybe your relationship won't end up coming down to a fucking ping pong match. Anyways, that's enough out of me. I'm done yapping. See ya.